Number 1. The 30 Years' War, 1618 to 1648. The 30 Years' War was a destructive war waged in Central Europe over the political and religious differences between the various nations of the Holy Roman Empire. Eventually, the war would disintegrate into France and the Habsburgs fighting it out in the latter years of the war. The 30 Years' War would conclude in 1648 with the Treaty of Westphalia. Number 2. The English Civil Wars, 1648 to 1651. A series of wars fought over religion, parliament, monarchy, and politics, which ended with the death of King Charles I and the rise of Oliver Cromwell to power. Although a regional war, nations in Europe debated if monarchs or representative governments should have real power. Number 3. The War of Spanish Succession, 1701 to 1714. A secessionary crisis in Spain comes to a head when all of Europe's powers were divided over who would rule Spain. The war would end in 1714 with the treaties of Utrecht and Rastatt, which forbade a personal union of French and Spanish crowns. Number 4. The Great Northern War, 1700 to 1721. Swedish dominance in Northern Europe comes to an end when Russia, Saxony-Poland, and Denmark fight against the Kingdom of Sweden. Eventually, Russia would use this war to rise as a great power in Europe. Number 5. Austrian War of Succession, 1740 to 1748. After Maria Theresa became the ruler of Austrian lands, several European powers challenged her claim to the throne. With the loss of Silesia, Prussia became more powerful than ever. A lot of unresolved issues from this war later paved the way for the 7 Years' War nearly a decade later. Number 6. The 7 Years' War, 1756 to 1763. A giant conflict fought in Europe, India, and the Caribbean, which would shape supremacy in Europe for centuries to come. Perhaps the most interesting fact of the 7 Years' War is that it was the first time in history a war was fought globally. Number 7. The French Revolutionary Wars, 1792 to 1802. A series of wars fought between the French and several European monarchies fearful of the revolution's political ideas. Number 8. The Napoleonic Wars, 1802 to 1815. Napoleon's French Empire fought several coalitions of European powers. The wars themselves redrew borders, overthrew governments, and installed both new legal and political ideas. The war ended with Napoleon's exile to St. Helena and the Congress of Vienna. Number 9. The Crimean War, 1853 to 1856. Russia went to war with the Ottoman Empire, Britain, France, and Sardinia-Piedmont over control of the Black Sea. The Crimean War is noted for poor logistics, harsh medical conditions, military incompetence, and the medical work of Florence Nightingale. Number 10. The Franco-Prussian War, 1870 to 1871. A major war which humiliated France. After the loss of Alsace and Lorraine, the Kingdom of Prussia and its German allies united to form the German Empire, which would last until 1918. Number 11. The Balkan Wars, 1912 to 1913. The First Balkan War, fought in 1912, was a coalition of Balkan states against the Ottoman Empire. Yet a breakdown in trust resulted in the Second Balkan War, which had the former allies fighting against each other over the spoils of the First War. Number 12. The Spanish Civil War, 1936 to 1939. What originally began as a military coup d'etat The Spanish Civil War divided Spain into nationalists and republicans. When Francisco Franco of the Nationalists declared victory in 1939, Spain would endure a fascist dictatorship which lasted until 1975. Number 13. The Cold War, circa 1947 to 1991. In the aftermath of World War II, Europe would once again be divided. However, unlike previous wars which divided Europe based on military conquest, the Cold War divided Europe ideologically, with an American-led Western Europe against the Soviet-led Eastern Europe. Europeans would endure many ordeals such as the Iron Curtain, the Berlin Airlift, the formation of NATO, nuclear tensions, and several failed uprisings in the Communist East Bloc, along with the erection of the Berlin Wall. Europe would be divided into East and West until the fall of communism in 1989 and the subsequent collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991. Thank you for watching this video. Please be sure to rate, comment, like, and subscribe for more content from this channel. Until then, farewell.